Okay. We are already in session. We had a open session and closed session that we reviewed some things here just a little while ago. We'll be talking about that down the road. But at this time, we will call this portion of the meeting to order, and we'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. So we'll ask Dana Jackson to come forward and lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will ask that you take a moment to join us in a moment of silence. You may use this time for reflection, for preparation for the meeting, or silent prayer as we move forward. Thank you very much. At this time, we will open the floor for citizen comments on public matter. We'll ask that if you have a comment to make, please come down to the microphone, state your name for the record, and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. At this time, we will open the floor.
I don't know if we're going to get the volume just right off the bat. Let's try this. City of Radford's apologizing.
If you will state your name as well before you start.
For my apology for something they actually did. Of course. RPD is blamed. My name is John Ashley. Go, play. Since the City of Radford's apologizing for something that happened 600 miles away, I'm here for my apology for something they actually did. RPD is blaming Memphis cops for, quote, eroding public confidence in law enforcement. So I emailed them, and I asked them two questions. I asked them about their policy regarding perjury and commission of an abduction. Both are 18.2 laws, which is what police investigate. Abduction is to gain physical control of someone by violence, threat of violence, or deception. But if that deception happens under oath in family court, perjury, does RPD investigate it? And I wanted to see their policy addressing the matter. The second question was regarding an incident that happened with me and my dad when RPD took custody of my child during court-ordered visitation in violation of the court order without arresting me or my dad and without DSS being involved. They then gave the child to a third party, the custodian, in violation of the court order. I've shown this to Christiansburg and the state police on video, and they both seem to agree that this would be in violation of their policy. And in fact, they say the only way this would be legal was if Radford had a policy that allowed them to take custody of a child in those situations. But they won't show it to me, and they told me to contact a private attorney. So I'll file some papers, and now any member of the public can come down and get a copy. The lawyer that they hired with your tax dollars writes in the court motion that the case should be dismissed because they have to give me this documentation, not to erode public trust in law enforcement. Now they want to charge me legal fees for doing exactly what they told me to do.
Radford Police Department. Sergeant Dallas, Radford Police Department.
But they're saying that a mentally ill person would say the Radford police, or just the police in general, don't investigate this type of abduction. As a broad statement. To which...
That is frustrating, but there are some cases where that is true. You do realize that as well.
If they say our policy on this subject has not changed since 2009, and what happened to me was legitimate, that means Radford Police Department can go down to the school and take a child out and give it to someone in violation of a court order, right?
What policy? Do you even have the policy number that you're referencing?
No, because I begged you to give it to me, and no one can. Just when I asked to get the policy, you say call a civil lawyer.
Yeah, because we're not going to release the policy to you like that. That's how it works.
Their official statement is that they don't have to produce policies they do not have. There's no policy where the sergeant says that there's uninvestigated child abductions. They won't say that they won't violate a court order and take your kids out of school. We're up to 3 police chiefs refusing to say that it's wrong to take custody of someone's child and give it to a third party in violation of a court order.
Thank you, Mr. Ashley.
Thank you. Or with DSS involvement. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you. Are there any other citizens who would like to make a comment for the public record? Seeing no one coming forward, we will close that portion of the meeting. At this time, council members, you have the minutes from our March 13th meeting. Are there any changes, or do we have a motion to approve as submitted? We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Under our proclamations, at the second meeting of March, we always look forward to April because that is our Environmental Awareness Month, and we have several proclamations to discuss. Just the general Environmental Awareness Month, Earth Day, Arbor Day, and all the activities that will take place. We will also be discussing this in our new business section as we talk about our special collection rates for the month of April, and we will talk through that. But we will begin by declaring April Environmental Awareness Month, and we'll ask Kelly if she will please present that proclamation.
Proclamation April 2023, problems of the Earth's environment affect all the citizens of Radford. Entire population. Radford encourages Radford citizens to participate in local appreciation of the Earth. Calls all citizens of Radford to support,
Would you like to make a motion that we adopt that?
make a motion to
We have a motion to adopt April 2023 as Environmental Awareness Month. Do we have a second?
second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And if everybody will just make sure you have your microphone on, we will be in good shape as we move forward. So Jesse, I believe you have a recognition of Earth Day for April the 22nd.
I do, Mayor. Proclamation, April 22nd, 2023, Earth Day. Whereas April 22nd, 2023 is recognized as National Earth Day, and whereas a sound natural environment is the foundation of a healthy society and a robust economy, and whereas there are sound economic, environmental, and social reasons for local governments to initiate energy efficiency and renewable energy practices, and whereas the City of Radford encourages and endorses participation in events supporting Earth Day. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby proclaim the day of April 22nd, 2023 as Earth Day, and does hereby encourage all of our citizens to participate in the ongoing efforts to recycle, reduce, reuse, as well as other activities which promote a healthy, environmental, and sustainable society. I would like to make a motion that we accept this proclamation.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Up next, we are going to talk about Arbor Day, and I have to say this one is near and dear to my heart. For many years, I've had the honor of serving on the Beautification and Municipal Forestry Commission. This is one of their major efforts every year, and in 2022, last year, it was the 150th anniversary of Arbor Day. We had set a goal of planting at least 150 trees in the city of Radford. We exceeded that goal by several dozen trees. We're looking to do many similar things again in 2023. Whereas in 1872, a special day was set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees, and whereas 2023 is the 151st anniversary of the holiday, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas the City of Radford established the Commission for Beautification and Municipal Forests to enhance and maintain the health and vitality of the community's urban landscape. Whereas the City of Radford's commitment to the preservation and propagation of trees within the community has been demonstrated over many years and recognized by the National Arbor Day Foundation through the designation of Radford as a Tree City USA community again this year, the 7th anniversary of our initial designation. Therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby proclaim April the 28th, 2023 as the 151st anniversary celebration of Arbor Day in the City of Radford, Virginia, and joins with the Radford Commission for Beautification and Municipal Forests to urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and further urges all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this proclamation. Do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. So all of those are elements of Environmental Awareness Month. We'll also be talking about cleaning and greening and doing those things to help improve the environment throughout the City of Radford when we get to our new business. April is also Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and that's a very important topic. Bobby, I believe you have a proclamation related to that.
Yes. City of Radford Proclamation Distracted Driving Awareness Month, whereas more than 700 injury crashes involve distracted driving on an average day, and the economic toll of all that motor vehicle crashes in the U.S. annually exceeds $400 billion. Whereas talking on a mobile phone, even in a hands-free mode, texting, programming, your dashboard, infotainment system, GPS device can divert your attention away from driving, which could result in physical or cognitive need of a distraction. Whereas Radford residents and all Americans deserve to live in communities that promote safe driving behaviors and healthy lifestyles. Whereas preventing distracted driving injuries and deaths require the cooperation of all levels of government, employers, and the general public. Whereas the National Safety Council and the Radford City Police Department work to promote policies, practices, and procedures leading to increased safety, protection, and health in business, industry, schools, and colleges, on roads and highways, and in homes and communities. Whereas the National Safety Council in 2023 will provide the nation with a month-long distracted driving public education campaign. Whereas spring is a time when people should begin to log more miles on the road, and it's imperative to focus attention on motor vehicle injury risk and preventions. Now, therefore, the Radford City Council of Radford, Virginia does hereby proclaim the month of April 2023 as a Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and strongly urges the citizens and businesses of Radford to observe Distracted Driving Awareness Month by practicing safe driving behaviors and pledging to drive distraction-free. I would like to make a motion to adopt this proclamation.
Thank you, Bobby. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you very much, and lots of good things for us to consider and talk about during the month of April. We don't have any old business that we're discussing tonight. We do want to let folks know we are continuing to work on the budget. We have a number of meetings coming up. We have a budget presentation this Wednesday, a budget work session on April the 3rd, and then we're going to have our regular meeting on April the 10th. So there's a lot going on, even though we're not dealing with old business. Under new business, one of the things that we like to do is to help our residents, help our businesses do some cleanup during the month of April. And, you know, the city does have to collect money to be able to provide some of the services that we have, but during April, we reduce the rates for loads that we might pick up of brush, appliances, things along that line. Dave, would you like to talk about that just a little bit further?
Sure, this has been a tradition for a number of years now. As you had mentioned, Mayor, it does encourage folks to fix up their lawns, work out in the community as much as they can, and then we do reduce the collections to half price generally for that month. All you do is just give Public Works a call, schedule the load pickup, and we take care of you, whether it's brush, small appliances, or even something large.
So help us spread the word about that, because this is a good deal. A lot of folks have things, particularly where we had the excessive wind over the last couple of weeks. There could be downed limbs and other things that need to be cleaned off property and things like that. This is a great opportunity to do it without having to take it out to the drop center. The rate for large loads would be reduced to $45, small loads to $22.50. Furniture and appliances would be half price for the entire month of April. So that would begin April 1st and run through the 30th. Council, do we have a motion that we'd like to approve these reduced rates? So moved. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? We will make a little slide that we can put on social media and get that out there, but start now because it's a busy month. We usually have our public works folks, sanitation folks staying very, very busy picking all that stuff up, and we want to get you all taken care of. All right, David, what else do you have for us?
Past few weeks have been very busy. Always this time of year, we're doing a lot of time budget-wise, so reaching culmination of that. Hopefully get everything ready and balanced for you the next few days. Had some unusual weather events. Saturday was an interesting day. Started out lots of fun, and cannot begin to thank all of our tourism and economic development and public works, rec department, and all of our public safety folks, and you all for coming out, bringing kids, volunteering, and helping out. The Easter egg hunt is a huge, huge event now. So got it really big last year. Good weather. We worked right in between some rain and sunshine, and great turnout. I know you all are going to have some comments about that later, but do want to thank all of our team. And then within an hour of that event coming to a close, we were dealing with emergencies, trees down, 50, 60 mile an hour gusts, questions of power, those kind of things. So nearly all of our departments were out dealing with those kind of things. So just thank you everybody associated with Radford team and coming out and being out and helping to be sure power's on, streets clean and passable, and all the extra things that go into it. So that's all I have today.
Okay. And yeah, to echo your comments, kudos to everybody involved. I know everybody's probably going to have some comments regarding that, so we will go on with that. But especially want to say thank you to all of our public works folks and to our emergency and EMS and everybody who helps out when we do have those weather situations like we had. It is always so quick to address things that are an issue, and that was a complete surprise. We had not expected it to get quite that bad on Saturday. Seth, what do you have for us this evening?
Yeah, I'll tie into the Easter egg hunt. That was, I mean, a total success. I was able to take my daughter. My only complaint was she wasn't old enough to go get me some of the chocolate and the eggs. So look forward to capitalizing on that in the future. But, I mean, the crowd, I was really impressed with the crowd. When I spoke with Kim, I think she said that people from Wytheville, Pulaski, a lot of the surrounding areas had came. So, I mean, that's huge. And a big thanks to David and staff, as well as to the rec department, Chief Dobson and the officers. I don't think a lot of people realize how much goes on behind the scenes to pull off an event like that, and it was really well done. We all had a good time. I also heard that Bobby's grandson was the winner of the big trip to Dollywood, so big congratulations
But it
to
was
them.
totally random. It was a drawing.
Yeah.
It was all legit.
Yeah. Now you know why I can't wait for my daughter to be able to go out and
there
get
you
that.
go.
Yeah. No, but congrats to them. So that was a good event. So I just want to thank everybody. And then also that the tournament, I drove by Veterans and it was packed. And so there was a lot of people in Radford, hopefully spending their money and enjoying things throughout the city. So that's it on that. And then this is just more of something that I would like us to look into. I know I've talked about it previously. I've talked about it with several people. I would like to see if we could get maybe a feasibility study or something going for the Crackers Neck property. I think there's a lot of opportunity up there. I think one of the foundational blocks we can maybe look at doing is a shooting range. I think that would be huge for our law enforcement officers. I'd like the public to have access for it as well. I know it's been looked at a couple times over the past, but I'd like to get that on our radar as we head into budget season and see if we can open up some avenues there. And I think that working with our law enforcement and as a recruitment tool, as a training tool, as well as opening up some possibilities for the citizens would be something good. So I would just like to get that on our radar and something that we can talk about.
Well, how about we do this? Why don't we put it on the agenda for the next meeting to look to establish a working group? And would you like to head up that working group?
Sure, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's do that. And I know Tracy Howard headed up some efforts on that before. He might be a good resource to engage as a citizen if he's able to do that. And then we can explore that.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
good, and that's all I had, so thank you.
Thanks, Seth. Jesse, what do you have this evening?
Yes, my moment of silence was dedicated to
Would you turn your mic on?
My moment of silence was dedicated to Ernest Kyle Moore this evening. And again, we're all gonna give rave reviews about the Easter egg hunt, but I also, I think, did Kim slip out?
Slipped out.
I know that we also had sponsorship of the eggs, and so I want to just give a shout out. I know that there were different businesses and churches and organizations that contributed to that, so I also wanted to recognize their efforts in helping us too. So I'm going to keep it simple this evening.
Sounds
That's
good.
all I have.
Thank you. Bobby, what do you have for us?
Yes, likewise, like to appreciate all the hard work everybody did out there at the park Saturday. It was a good day. Not because my daughter won, but it was still a good day. But anyway, it was really a perfect day. We had the bouncies, we had the egg hunt. We had WPSK out there. I think for kids, it was just a great day. Well, and the weather was great, although touch and go there for a while, but good day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Kelly, what do you have for us?
I did not get to participate in the Easter egg hunt. We were out of town in Boston for a wedding, so it was awful weather. I was jealous of your guys' weather actually over the weekend, but it sounded like it was a great time. I followed along on social media, and thank you to everybody that put that on. I can't wait to come next year. And I might give you a run for your money on that, winning the big prize. I want to send out condolences to the Starnes family and the Gillespie family and friends of Sharon Starnes. She was definitely a huge supporter of Radford, as you know, we're standing in a room that her husband is named after. So it takes I know we've heard the saying that it takes a strong woman to stand behind a good man, and he definitely was. So condolences to you guys. She was a great person, loved to travel, so she definitely would have been my friend if I could have spent more time with her. Today is my daughter's 9th birthday, so I want to give a shout out to her. Happy birthday, Olivia. And I don't have anything. I'm excited for all of the community things that are coming up. We've got a lot of good things going on. We got some good reports today from other things, so I think we're all really excited about the future. I hope you guys are too.
Thanks, Kelly. And I'll add my condolences as well, as I know we all do. Seth, sorry for the loss of your grandmother, and to Tom for the loss of Sharon. Certainly she was a very special lady, but also an important lady to this community for her entire life in Radford, and we're so thankful to her, and our sympathies and prayers for you. There is a lot of good stuff going on, and I wanted to mention too how impressed I was with Community Life Church for the work they did down at the Easter egg hunt. Just everybody worked so hard to make it a great day for the kids and for all the families that came out. One of the really cool things, we had some food trucks that came to town. I talked to each one of them. They all did really, really well. Had some wonderful food that we've really not had the similar food trucks here before. So it was kind of nice to have some new folks in town. You know, one of the great ways to expose folks to the city of Radford is to bring in some of those businesses. They may choose to do what some of our food trucks have done in the past and actually set up a bricks and mortar, which is a great way to test your business here. But also just to expose folks to the other businesses in Radford. I know that several of our shops had some folks that visited them before and after the Easter egg hunt. Several people sold out of the goods they had, so it was a win all the way for everybody, and it does take a huge effort, so we're thankful to all the people that are involved for that. I did mention the thanks that we have for the folks for supporting this community when we have weather events. I know some of our neighbors struggle with being without power for days, not just hours, and we're very, very fortunate that our electric department gets on that when we have an issue, and just in a few hours, usually folks are restored. So we're very thankful for that. We do have a lot of events coming up during the month of April. Help us get the word out to folks that these things are happening. I would love for everything, whether it be a city-sponsored event or a private event, to be so well attended that it just sets all kinds of new records and gets people engaged. When we have tons of people come out, whether they be citizens of the city of Radford or some of our surrounding communities or even a good distance away, it helps everybody. And this is part of our goal for the future of the city is building up these events and having tent poles that continuously have activity in the city, and there's more to come on that and a whole lot happening. I did want to mention that coming up in the month of April is National Victim Rights Week. We'll talk about that as we get a little further in April, but there'll be another 5K walk in the park that several of our local law enforcement groups are helping to support. I mention that now so that you can get it on your radar. We'll put out some more information about that, but that's a really important subject for us to keep in mind, because those folks who are affected by the poor decisions of others many times don't get the respect and support that they deserve, and this is a real effort to recognize that, to recognize the efforts of our law enforcement personnel and their support systems in making sure that victims of crime are protected and supported throughout that. So there'll be more to come on that in April, and while that's a less joyous event, it is still an important event for us to consider. We do encourage you to stay involved with all of our meetings anytime, but definitely during the next few weeks. We have some big deals that we're going to be talking about and some things that we want to make sure that all of you know. So I would love nothing more than this room to be packed in April for both of our regular meetings. Ask us questions. If you want to be involved, get in touch with us. Get in touch with Kim Repass for volunteering with tourism and participating with some of our events. This is a good time in Radford, and a lot of positive things are happening. You need look no further than downtown into other parts of the city where new businesses are popping up and buildings are being refreshed. We're working on new projects. Lots of good stuff is happening. And with that, we won't belabor things. I do want to point out we do have a budget presentation on Monday, or actually Wednesday. We have another budget work session that council will be participating in on Monday. And then finally, our regular meeting will be 2 weeks from today. Do we have a motion to adjourn? We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say good night. Good night.